And hey, everybody. I am so excited to be back. I took 3 weeks off because of Croatia and Italy, which was fabulous. And now I got my friend Colleen here, which is even more fabulous. So thank you so much, Colleen. As always, I love you and I love you being on here with me.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Can't
Yeah,
wait to hear more about your trip because you came back from Italy and Croatia, and one of my next conferences is Italy.
I
Yay.
know. And I was talking to a couple of people. There's a good amount of people going to that.
Oh, okay. I'll have to get the list from you after, unless they pop up. So if you're on the chat or you're watching the show, comment that you're going to Italy, send me a private message, let
Yeah.
me know you're going so that we
Yeah,
can.
and we can talk about all the things. I mean, I was only in Italy 5 days, and I don't have, like, a huge list of recommendations, but I do have some.
Okay. You
So,
want to
yeah, I
start
don't know
with
if you wanna talk about that now or
Let's
later.
start with that first. Yeah.
Okay.
What do you recommend for anyone going to Italy? So, if anyone's not familiar, Remax has a European conference in Italy, in Florence. It is September 9th and 10th. So, I think there's still registrations available. So, if you want to plan a quick European vacation like I am and add 2 days of conference, join us.
Yeah, it'll be fabulous. It will be fabulous. So one of the things and it was more in Croatia than Italy, but originally I was told just to bring, like, 500 € just to have, like, free money, not free money, but money to spend there. But one thing I found out is that if you offer to pay cash, a lot of the places gave it to you discounted. So anywhere from 10 to 20% off, a lot of the markets would give it to you for just paying cash. So I did wish I had more cash. I kept going to ATMs. We were also told be very careful what ATM you use
Okay.
and not just use one on the street, but
Okay.
actually the ones in Rome and in the Amalfi Coast were, I'll have to see what they're called, something else, but it was behind a gate. And it
Oh,
looked like you had to have a code to get in, but you really didn't. But it opened up and there were tons of cameras and everything because when I was there, somebody had put something in the chip reader and
okay.
they had just gotten in trouble for it, but they had got, it was like, I think it was $6 billion was taken from ATMs.
Okay.
So be careful. So be careful what ATM you use. I'll ask my stepdaughter because she lived in Florence for 2 years, and there is a specific type that is okay to use, but it's
Okay.
very much attached to a bank. So don't use ATMs there. Don't use just any ATM there. Be very careful. Come in with cash. I had to order mine from the bank 3 weeks in advance.
Okay.
Just food for thought. That was important. The other thing I thought was amazing, and this is such a funny, trivial thing, but it was one of the things I thought was the most astounding, is it was almost on every corner they would have a fountain. And sometimes the fountains were amazing. They look like huge fountains with like 7 different knobs on it to get drinking water.
Oh,
Some
okay.
of them look more like a fire hydrant. But point bring water bottles because I was refilling my water all the time and I was hesitant in the beginning because my local water here is horrible. But the water there, it came out cold and it was good. Like some of the best water I've ever tasted, which sounds odd. So those were two, like bring cash, get your euros now, bring refillable water bottle because they're everywhere. And that was wonderful.
And then I've heard really comfy shoes because there's a lot of uneven surfaces too.
100%. Yeah, you're doing a lot of walking in water shoes. Depending on where I was, Croatia had more like rocks on the beach,
Okay.
and they said in Croatia you had to be really careful for stepping on sea anemones because if you stepped on them there, you had to go to the hospital no matter what.
Oh, okay.
And they said it happened every single day, like hundreds of tourists a day. So that was really important in Croatia. And then in Italy, at least when we went to Capri, the sand was black, I'm assuming from a volcano, and it was hot, hot, hot. I mean, hot. So water shoes, very important, and comfy water shoes.
Good to know. I just got a text from someone asking me if we're on. So let me just respond to him.
Yes, tell them we're on. Come on, come join us.
Yes. And I just
And
want
if
to make sure.
anybody else is going to Italy, let us know. Yes, got the Georgia girls representing.
Oh, there we go. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Georgia girls, where are you guys? Are you going just to the conference? Or are you vacationing before or after? We'll give them a second to respond. And I'm going to
Yeah.
respond to Mr. Fred and Wolf from San Antonio and let him know that I sent him a message.
Yes. Come on, Fred. Where are you?
So my plan is currently that I'm flying into and out of Rome before the conference, and I am so there we go. Fred joined. Melissa, there is a European Remax conference in Italy, September 9th and 10th in Florence. So come join. Handful of people from the US I know are going, probably more than a handful, but it's open to anyone. And so my husband and I are going to vacation for a couple of days. We're going to go to Rome first, then Venice, and then Florence. But I have been so busy that he's been doing all of the planning. So I just kind of know my dates and know no, I don't even know the hotels. I know what airport I'm flying in and out of.
Do you know what part of Rome? Rome's huge. Rome is huge.
Okay.
One thing I would say, we did a golf cart tour that was really nice. It was 102 degrees in Rome, which actually did not feel as, I thought I was going to die at 102 degrees. But ironically, there was a huge breeze all the time. And because the structures are so large, I felt like most of the time I was in shade. And so it didn't feel 102 degrees. But what was it? Oh, we did a golf cart tour.
Golf cart tour. Okay.
Yeah. And it was like 3 or 4 hours. We have a tour guide, and he asked you where you wanted to go. I did the private one. It was $65 more. I wouldn't do a private one because it only seats 4 people anyway.
Okay.
So it's just a small, but it was really good. Like, we did the Colosseum, we did the Spanish Steps, we were able to do, Rome is huge. And so it was a way that you could do a lot of things.
A lot of it.
That's right. Okay. You can knock it out.
Yeah.
But we stayed somewhere near the Colosseums where they told me it started with a T, but there was like, I'll have to send you a video. There was like this downtown square area. Okay. I'll have to find out exactly where I was. But all day long, they had musicians down there. They had people playing with fire. They had dancers. I mean, and originally I was told it started at 10 p.m., but I was there. I'm in bed by 10. So I was there like at 5, and it had already started. But it was really entertaining, really fun, and really entertaining.
Okay. Very cool. So yeah, so that's my next conference. So since we're kind of wrapping up 2026 European conference.
Doris says she's flying into Rome.
Awesome.
Out of Milan.
Okay. I'll send you a DM with my info so that we, maybe can do a meal together or something like that if our dates line up. Then I'm going to Triple Play. Obviously, if you've had a conversation with me before, I love the Triple Play Conference, which is in New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania State Conference in Atlantic City in the first week of December. So if you're coming to Triple Play or you're looking for a new conference, it is probably the most reasonably priced conference. Like registration.
And how many people usually go to that?
I think they have like 5,000 or 6,000. They're a little different because they can vary a lot on the number based on like CE credit years. Mm-hmm. Like, I forget if it's Pennsylvania or New Jersey. They're all in the same cycle for when your license renewal is. Wow. Versus in New York, we're based on our license date. So they get surges because it's like in December, right before the end of the year.
I get it. Everybody's trying to get their credit. Correct. And then how is that conference actual as far as like educationally? I mean, do you
a little birdie told me that CRS is going to have the divorce certification class this year. So if you're working on your CRS, that's going to be like a nice chunk of hours to get your designation.
And they're going to do that at Triple Play or at CRS?
Triple Play. No, at Triple Play. So in New Jersey, the final pieces are still being put together, but I believe it's going to be Monday morning, or probably all day Monday, which would be the 7th of December. So you can come for the designation for CRS certification, extra hours if you're working on your designation, and then walk away with, some new letters after your name. It's not about the letters. It's about the networking, and it's about, what you're learning, making the connections. Also, I'm usually doing a networking dinner the night before. So come in Sunday, have dinner with a big group of people, and then take the class all day Monday. And then even if you don't do the conference for the rest, at least you got a good, education wrap up to the end of the year.
And then Dora's asking dates. You said December 7th?
Sure. Triple Play is December 6th is the dinner that I'm going to host. I believe the class for CRS is going to be the 7th. It technically runs the 7th to the 10th of December. I usually leave the morning of the 10th. I've never actually spent the whole day on
So you
Thursday.
go you're going like 6 through and leaving early on the 10th.
Correct. I usually drive in the night before, and that's in Atlantic City, and it's open to anyone. You don't have to be part of the tri-state region. There's a few more, educational options for like CE credit if you're part of those states, but anyone can go to the classes, and it's some good networking and a couple of fun night
I
out.
think I might go this year. I say it every year, and then every year I get busy and don't go. I haven't been to any conferences this year because of my personal issues, but I've been missing them and I've been lonely. And I think I want to go. I think I'm going. I don't think I'm going to sign up for it.
Come. Yay. Okay.
Yes.
Well, then you'll stay at the same hotel as me and I'll drive you so that it's easy for you. We'll make it
thank you.
easy.
Because I hate driving.
I know. I'm going to stay at Borgata. I think that is the nicer hotel in the area.
Okay.
And it's also part of the MGM network. So if you are going to R4, it's part of that Players Club networking thing, which just, saves you a little bit of money here and there to stay at the same hotel chain. So yay. Okay. One new person this year.
Yay. I'm definitely coming. And then Melissa Bailey is asking if anybody's going to luxury. And did I read that was only open to 75 people? Is that right?
I think it's not the Remax Luxury Conference. It's like the CLHMS conference, I think, or like one of the designations. Melissa, maybe you could give a little more information about that. But it is limited to like a small group of people. It's not a bigger conference.
Yeah. I did not know anything about it. I saw some chatter in one of the Facebook groups that I was in and would love to know more. Yeah, they gave Melissa. So is that the one you have to? I think I have that designation.
You probably do. It's one of the designations you had to have like 3 sales that are over 50% of your average price point and then take a class or 2. I think you would have taken it.
I think I have it, but I didn't have the leaders of luxury.
Okay.
Because I had the other one because it was like I had to sell like over $1 million home, but leaders in luxury, you had to sell, I think it was like over 2 million, or maybe it's 2 over 3 million.
There's a couple.
And I've only sold one over 3 million.
Yeah, there's a couple different levels. Like I think there's Guild, if I remember correctly. I don't know if Ryan from Las Vegas is on here. I know him and I have talked about it, but they have like a level where if you sold over so many $1 million homes, you can get in this group, and if you sell over so many, then you get in other groups as well. They have 3 different tiers. That's kind of what I was thinking.
Okay.
So it does vary. So I think for their conference, they open it up to the higher tiers first, and then depending on how it sells, they open to the other.
I heard that leaders of luxury. I heard that was a very, very. I've never been. I don't think I've qualified, but I heard it was a very good. I heard it was very good. Yeah. And again, I'm sold like 20 homes that are over $1 million. It's the $2 million mark. We just don't have a lot of homes here at that price point.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So I think the other big topic people are talking about, or at least starting to chatter about a little bit, is R4 and Celebration.
Yes.
Celebration is CRS, which I've gone to the last couple of years and had a great time. However, it's in Vegas this year, and it is only like 10 days before R4, which is also in Vegas.
That's horrible.
So it's funny. I was telling my husband last night or over the weekend, he's like, what are your plans for the next few months? And I, trying to tell him which conferences I'm going to. And he goes, so wait, you're going to fly West Coast twice and like fly home and back in like a week? And I'm like, that's currently the plan. Well, he thinks I should stay West Coast. So he might come out and visit, or I was just chatting with somebody before this call, and he's suggesting staying in Vegas and doing like mini masterminds maybe. So I don't know. I think it might be a game time.
I'll tell you, 2 weeks in Vegas, 3 weeks in Vegas kind of gives me a little bit of anxiety thinking about it.
It would
be better than I am. I mean, I just like,
I did Vegas for like 12 days last year. I think it was. No, it was 10.
I miss you too, Renee. I've been telling you, I've been missing everybody so much. I am ready to get in front of my people.
I know.
But what were you saying? So you went out for 12 days.
Last year, I went West Coast for like, I think it was 14 or 15 days in February, because we had a trip to Pebble Beach Golf Course that I couldn't change the dates of because I had won an auction. Wow. And so we did him. My husband
says, no way could she do 2 weeks in Vegas. I'm thinking that sounds horrible.
Here's the thing. New York is cold and it is gloomy and it is dark. here. And
Okay.
it's so Vegas, at least if it's cold, because obviously we had snow last year in the mountains, it's sunny. So to go
Yeah.
West Coast and at least see the sunshine to me makes a difference. And you don't have to do Vegas. Like you don't have to like go to the casino every night and go to the bars every night. Like you can do a lot of other things, just vacation in a different city. But my husband had talked about maybe coming in between, and maybe we would do like a road trip to Utah or something different that we've never done
That
together.
would be fun. I've
And
never been to Utah. Those pictures, I'm telling you, Esther Clark, I think her pictures are gorgeous.
I know. And that's what I was thinking. So that's a possibility. I don't know. It's a little bit far out, but starting to put dates on the calendar because then you get better airfares. I'm a planner. And that
Yes, you're a
aspect,
good
I
planner.
don't know for sure. I keep track of the cancellation policies. And then I've also heard that some people are going to stay in Vegas between the two because Tom Ferry has an elite clinic or elite meetup.
Okay.
And that is the 17th to 18th. So in theory, you could do Celebration 9 to 11, Tom Ferry 17 and 18, and then R4 21 to 24.
I mean, you could definitely knock out a lot of conferences.
Correct. But is that too much? Like, is that too much? Then you don't really learn anything and you're just like going through the motions. Is it quantity over quantity or quality?
So
Like
for me, that would be too much. I mean, for me personally, like I did it one year with Mark Cruz and we did Vegas, we did R4, and then I left with him, and that's when it was in Arizona, it was in Phoenix, and I flew with him to Phoenix, and let's just put it this way, I think by day 2 of Phoenix, he looked at me and laughed and said, "You look like you're half dead." Like I just, it was a lot that I was like, I just can't, my brain is like on overload.
And I remember that year because I was hanging out with you guys. Like I'd stay to
Yes.
Vegas an extra day, and you would stay to Vegas an extra day, and then I think we're going to Arizona like a day early, and that makes sense because it's only like adding 1 or 2 days.
Yes.
I'm like, at what point? What's the tipping point to flying home for 4 days to flying back? You know, is it 3 days? Is it 4 days? Because for me, it's a full day of travel.
Yeah.
To go to Vegas.
Yeah.
You know, like so I'm still in the brainstorming part of that.
Yeah, so what's everybody else's thoughts? I mean, Renee says your head's going to explode.
I would agree. And that's kind of what I'm thinking too.
But you're good about taking downtime. Like, I'm not good about being by myself. Like, the thought of being in a hotel room by myself, it gives me anxiety. It just gives me anxiety. But you're good at that. I mean, you're like, hey, I'll hang out for 2 or 3 days in between this, and I'll get all this stuff done. And you just sit down and hammer it out and make it happen.
I went to Denver for Remax LLC headquarters had like a 2-day tech training. So I went to Denver for a couple of days, and the last minute my husband decided not to come, and I'm like, well, I'm still gonna go. And yeah, I honestly like stayed in the hotel room and just knocked out paperwork. Like it felt like a waste of time, but at the same point, like I'm overwhelmed on paperwork right now. I kind of do just want to get on a plane and or just go lock myself in a hotel so I'm not distracted. It's like not the day-to-day of like, oh, I have to go make dinner, or I should go through this load of laundry, or I should go do these dishes. Like all I had was my laptop. I didn't even turn the TV on in the room. You know, I did have Netflix.
That's right.
So yeah, I'm not so sure. I know some people have talked about going to the LGBTQ plus Alliance conference, which is October of this year in Chicago. So if anyone's going to that, it's not currently on my agenda, but I also sometimes like the smaller conferences like that one. I've never been. I think that would be something I would add in at the last minute. Like if, okay, I'm not busy in real estate right now, why don't I go do something?
Yeah.
We all know the best way to get busy is to plan a trip, right? So as soon as you say you're committed to going to something, you're going to get busy and that'll pay for the trip.
You're exactly right.
And I'm not going this year because this is still this year's conference. I forgot. New Orleans, NAR, next in New Orleans, November 6th.
Have you ever been to any NAR conferences?
I have not. I'm going to be, right now, I'm in position to be CRS New York president-elect for 2028.
Look at you, fancy pants.
So I was
congratulations.
It was suggested that I go to NAR next year, which is going to be in San Diego.
Okay.
So probably NAR San Diego. I didn't love New Orleans when we went there for the luxury conference.
Yeah,
like it
I was there too. I didn't like it either.
I just didn't like this. city. It wasn't my style. Like, I'd rather go to Vegas for 2 weeks than New Orleans for a week. Sorry for anyone that's.
And look, she says, "Oh, come on back to New
Sorry,
Orleans."
Patricia. Come on. I'm sorry. I'm very, very sorry. It was
Yeah,
also,
and it stunk. It was hot and it stunk.
it was just too hot, and
Yeah.
just air conditioning couldn't keep up. It just wasn't my thing at all. So yeah, I'm not going to NAR this year. That one wasn't even kind of on my radar at all. So what other conferences are people going to? Let's add some more chat comments. Who's going
Yeah,
where?
so I think the CRS one's always a good one. I don't know, with it being in Vegas, that kind of stinks that
So
it's
come
in
to
Vegas.
Triple Play. Come to
Yeah,
Triple
and
Play.
I am going to go to Triple Play. I'm committed. I'm committing to you to go to Triple Play.
Well, Fred Cleansey has a great story from New Orleans, and I don't know what that is. I don't know.
Is it about me, Fred? Is it this a story about me? Because that's how I've met Fred.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if it's about me or not, but I'm going to tell you about how I met Fred, who
Okay.
I absolutely love. So Grayson and I were out with a group of people, and everybody was waiting to get into a bar. And she looked at me and she's like, "Mom, I'm tired. I'm ready to go back." And I was like, "Yeah, me too. I'm ready to go back." Never met Fred before, but Fred, military, very much of a gentleman, said, "I have this knife that I take everywhere with me, and I know that they're not going to let me into the bar. Can I give you my knife and you give it back to me tomorrow?" And I was like, "Absolutely." And he was like, "And in the meantime, I'm going to walk you to your Uber because I want to make sure you're in there safe," which is so what Fred would do. But at this exact moment, I don't know Fred. And Grayson and I had a little bit to drink. So in the morning, I wake up and I'm like, "Hey, Gracie, I have this knife." I was like, "Do you remember the guy's name who gave it to me?" And she's like, "No." And I'm like, "And there was somebody else in the Uber with us." I was like, "Who was in the Uber with us?" And she said, "I don't remember." She said, "But I think you got a picture of him." So I go through, this is a real story, because some things I just cannot make up. So I go through my pictures and I find a picture of me and Grayson and this other lady in the Uber. So now I'm at breakfast. I have Fred's knife and I am going from table to table to table saying, "Hey, does anybody know this woman in this picture who rode in the Uber with me?" Because what happened is she said, "I know Fred Wolf very well. If you give me the knife, I'll give it back to him." So the next morning at breakfast, I see Fred. He asked me for the knife. I don't have the knife, and I did not know who was in the Uber, and it was Delisa.
Oh, okay.
Who I love to death now. And now all of us think it's the biggest, funniest story. And now I love Fred and I love Delisa. But at that exact moment, I did not know either one of them. And I had taken Fred's knife and given it to Delisa and then didn't know who I gave it to. So
I was more thinking you're letting a random person, and Fred, you know I love you, and you know I agree with everything Jennifer said about everything you said about you're being wonderful. But Jennifer, let me just repeat what I heard.
I don't always make good decisions.
I walked
everybody
to an Uber with a guy I didn't know who claimed he was going to protect me, and I knew he had a knife because he told me he had a knife. That is what I just heard. So Fred, I'm very sorry.
I never said I make great decisions. Gracie says I'm clueless and I trust everybody too much. And that is true. But I'm like, "Sure, I'll take your knife and you can walk me. And I don't know who you are, Delisa, but get in the Uber with us." And we're all friends.
Getting in the Uber, like, I will admit, like, yeah, before real estate, I would have never done half of the things that I've done that on paper now sound crazy, but actually are all fine. Like getting in random Ubers and all of those things are just, flying across the country to meet internet friends, So yeah, I mean, there's amazing stories, but what I heard is I let a random guy walk me to my car and he told me he had a knife.
But I trusted him because he said he was with Remax.
Right.
He said, Fred said, "But we were all with the Remax group."
Yes. And Fred has walked me to the hotel
He's such a gentleman. Times. I mean, he's just that. I mean, he's a wonderful.
Without a doubt. Fred walked me to the hotel in Austin last year because he didn't want me to walk alone. I didn't want to walk alone, but he wasn't going to let me. So yeah, it's, that's what conferencing's about, so it's, yes, we learn all these great things. Yes, we have all these great stories and we network, but it's about the relationships, when you really do get to know somebody in an Uber more than you're ever going to get to know.
And this is a hard industry, and it's a competitive industry. And in your local network, not a lot of people mingle and help each other because they always feel like they're fighting for the listing or fighting for the buyer or whatever. But it's nice to go to conferences where you're around, like here. So my now husband Mark, he said, I always think it's the oddest things. He's like, you go to these things and you claim these people are your best friends, and he was like, and they're all colors of the rainbow, they're all ages, they're all sizes. He's like, you have nothing in common. I said, bullshit. We have real estate in common, and that is hard. It's a hard industry. It's a hard industry, and it's nice to have friends that you could talk to, that you could let your hair down with, that you could take a knife from Fred Wolf and get in an Uber.
He added to the story. It was after a ghost tour.
Yes.
Which just makes it even that much better. No, but you're right. Like, we do have these real friendships and these real relationships. Like,
I mean, you came to my wedding.
I know. I was like, but you know what? And here's the thing, like, our families know each other. Like, my husband, I had to be like, hey, could we do this? And he's like, for Jennifer? I'm like, she says it's important. I don't know why she needs me to come to her house.
I did have my surprise wedding. So she didn't actually get a formal invitation, but I know that she comes to Myrtle Beach every January and we always hang out together. So I was like, is there any chance you could come in a day or two early? And you said, is it important? And I said, to me, yes.
Right.
And you said, then we'll be there. And you did.
And it was, in all honesty, like you said, it was not a formal invitation. So I don't want anyone thinking, why did Colleen get invited? I thought
nobody else got invited. It was not a real invitation. It was like, come down a few days early.
It was, and it wasn't even that. It was like, I detoured like literally 40 minutes out of my way. Yeah. And we couldn't even check into our hotel anyway. So not hotel, rental house. So it was, and but my husband was like, why are we doing this? And I said, because Jennifer says it's important. And he says, okay. Like, he knows, like, if I'm saying that, like, he knows you well enough to know that you're not just.
Yeah, I would never, yes. Unless it was,
just be like, hey, can you guys do that? But like, at the same point, it was like, yeah, you need that? Okay, fine. I mean, how many other people can detour all their plans, but.
That's exactly right.
That's about building these relationships and building these friendships.
That's right.
We just have Pamela from Hawaii jump on. Pamela, what conferences are you going to the rest of this year and next year? Add it in the chat so we can find out who we all need to connect with when we are traveling. I think Pamela's been to Triple Play a couple times too, if at least twice.
She is a traveler.
She definitely is. I'd love to know how many frequent flyer miles she has.
I know, really. I know.
She's got the difference.
So she is going to Triple Play.
She is. Yay. And are you going to
go this year too, Pamela? So we can be. Oh, she's going to Italy. And I just got back. We were just talking about Italy, but I think Pamela goes a lot. I think she goes overseas a lot.
I think so too.
I think she told me she vacations, like, I might be making it up, but I think she told me like 7 or 8 times a year. Am I right, Pamela? I might have made that story up about you, but I think I think she's one of my people that like to vacation a lot.
And then, are there any conferences that we haven't talked about that anyone's going to, knows about, thinks people need to reach out? Because until I started talking about Triple Play, like, nobody had ever heard of it unless you were from New York, New Jersey, and PA. So I would love to know, like, what regional conferences are your area that people should be attending? Like, anything? Come on, Pam, there's got to be something good in Hawaii. We all need to go.
Yeah, right? I like it. I'm going to go to Triple Play. I'm excited that. And I love CRS. I don't know if I'll go this year because of it being and I also like Elite Retreat. That's in October. I'll go to that. Although I think a lot of people are not going this year. This is an interesting year. And then I like the small ones too. Like, I like the ones that are not real conferences, but just a handful of people, 50 people or whatever, get together. Mm-hmm. Again, this has just been an off year for me, but I know that I've been to Texas last year. I mean, those are really good also.
And yeah, it's the people in the room that you make it.
That's right.
You have the conversations, you let your hair down, and you just have organic conversations. That's or right. This is going to sound terrible. I learn a lot just listening to the people on the phone. Like, how are you talking to your client? Wait, what does this mean in your market? Mm-hmm. A lot of my business is agent to agent referral. And so I can pick up some of the lingo when I'm hearing other people talk about it. And I can say, hey, I know you don't know what escrow is. it's more like a due diligence, except for it's like this. And so I may not know the exact, but I know enough that it like the buyers or the sellers can then ask more questions in the market they're going to
That's right.
coming
That's
from.
right. And you can help give them ideas. Like if you're sending a referral to me, then you could say, hey,
You
this
can
is
close
really
in 30
different.
days.
Because I know New York, my first time ever with a New York referral was from, and I cannot believe my mind just went.
Rich. Was
Yeah,
it Rich?
thank you. It was Rich. And I kept saying, like, when's the closing date? What do you mean you don't have a closing date? What do you mean it could be within 90 days? And there were so many things I kept saying, like, that was a whole learning curve for me because here they were trying to write an offer on a house. But it was, I learned a lot about New York. New York is weird.
But even different parts of New York,
Yeah.
like down by Sia. So Sia is more Brooklyn, Queens area. They have the attorneys write the contract. So
Yeah.
we're an attorney state. I fill in the blanks on a contract and then it goes to attorney review.
Yeah.
3 days for attorney approval. So by going to different conferences and networking with people,
You
and
learn.
understanding that little bit of lingo, when you get on the phone call with somebody else, you know those questions to ask.
Well, and it makes it easier to merge that gap because it's super stressful, especially when you're moving across moving across states like that. So if you have both agents that kind of at least understand the basics for each state,
Correct.
then it's easier.
Or at least
is going to Poconos. I want to go to the Poconos this year. I did not go last year because of the Croatia, Italy trip. That was an expensive trip. And we went for so long that I really couldn't do anything else, but it was an amazing trip. Best vacation of my life, actually.
you need to vacation too.
Yes.
You need to spend time with your daughter.
But I do want to go to the Poconos next year. So y'all don't forget me. I know I didn't go this year. Don't forget to invite me next year, please.
I wasn't able to go. It wasn't even, and I felt so bad because it was something I could have driven to. Like it was only a 5-hour drive for me, which is so much easier than a flight. And it just didn't fit in the schedule. Like it's so hard to do all of the opportunities that are out there.
Yeah.
I know there's some, girls trips in January and things along those lines. And it's like we have to pick and choose which events to go to. You can't do everything because let's face it, we're all still selling houses.
Yeah, we have. Yes, that's right.
I'm having a phenomenal year. I'm going to have probably end up about 52, 53 transactions as a solo agent. I might be I could almost make elite this year. I'm actually I could almost see a path to it, which is insane with my average sales price.
That's awesome.
But I don't think it's really going to happen. But it's it's the first time ever. It could happen. I have enough leads in the pipeline. But now I'm going to Italy for 2 weeks, so that's going to slow it down quite a bit. But yeah, if there's any other
girl trips to Mexico, I was not invited on. Destin, is that the one in Florida that's coming up in September?
I think so. I think that's right after the Italy trip.
Yeah,
so it's early September, and they did one last year, in Key Largo, Key West. I know Sia went. Michelle Stewart, I think, is one of the organizers of that, and they do a great job.
Yeah.
But again, it's so hard to do these trips
everywhere
and sell homes, And I work and I travel, so people are like, "How do you travel so much?" I'm like, "Because I can work while I'm gone, and I'm not."
And you actually are good at it. Back to you getting down into the hotel room and just hunkering in and knocking it out.
Sometimes I just don't. Yeah, I'll just be like, "I'm not leaving the room until I finish these 4 things,"
That's right.
Or I'll plan an extra day in there before I head home so that I know I can blitz some things out. But yeah, are there any other conferences we missed? I think we've had a few new people jump on. I want to talk about new places if there is any. It's how we all learn.
That's right. Well, she's going to go to Destin after Italy. I'm on the fence about Destin too. But
yeah. Okay.
I know. Well, I have somebody that invited me to be their roommate, and I need to reach out to her to see if that invitation's still out there. And then I might.
If not, come to Triple Play. You can't be my roommate because I'd like my own room, so I'm very sorry. Eric came to Triple Play last year, so Eric convinced Jennifer she needs to come, and Grayson. Grayson can come too.
Yes.
And Eric will.
Did you stay in your own room because you were a really good roommate, though, Colleen?
When did I? Oh, I only shared a room with you for one night. One night.
I know, but you were a great roommate. You were quiet. I didn't even know you were in there.
You didn't even know I was in there. I ate the barbecue and I did not bring food back to the room. I was very conscious of that.
You were you were conscious over everything.
But I can do it for one day. I can't do it for a lot of days.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you were desperate, if someone was at a hotel and their room got lost, Like, obviously, I'm going to make sure you have a room. But yeah, come to Triple Play. Stay at
It's a good
Borgata.
but shady part of town,
It's
Eric
not.
says.
Where's the shady part of town?
Can you put the registration for Triple Play on the in Facebook?
I will. I run a Facebook Triple Play networking group, so I will post it there as soon as it's open.
Perfect.
Generally speaking, it doesn't open until like Labor Day.
Okay.
Is registration. And then I found it's better to book the hotel directly through the hotel versus through the Triple Play group because it's a better price. You still get the shuttle and it's a better cancellation policy. And I'm all about the cancellation policies. Like, I'll book something, and if I can't make it, something like a Triple Play or like an R4, if you know the cancellation policy, book for the early bird. That's probably one of my best tips is book for the early bird.
Smart.
Know the cancellation policy. Worst case, you're out $50 for a cancellation fee, but you're going to regret it if you end up booking last minute and pay $400, $300 more for something, So, yeah.
I think that's all really good advice. And I do want to go to the Poconos Castle trip. So make sure I'm on the invitation for next year. I was on the invitation this year, and like I said, I couldn't go, but I do want to go next year. I heard it was amazing.
Yeah. So, okay.
And I'll go to Triple Play. And so, Eric, you can
I'm going to make you come.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to make Jennifer come. For everyone that's on the call, you heard it. Jennifer's coming to Triple Play. She's going to stay at Borgata so I can drive her around. And we will.
I do have a little bit of anxiety issues. Colleen knows about. Okay, I'll drive you around. I'll make sure you get there.
I'm just going to make sure you show up where you need to be. You don't have to show up. You don't have to go.
No, I love to show up. I just don't like driving. That is true. I do have a lot of
there's a shuttle. There's a shuttle thing, but I usually go to an early session, so I have my car before the shuttle runs. And I don't like Ubers, so therefore, we can trade off. You can register, book Ubers for us, and I'll drive when it's driving appropriate.
That sounds like a plan.
But
yes, I am. I'm going to Triple Play. Y'all, everybody on this call has my commitment. Whenever Colleen tells me to sign up, whenever Colleen tells me exactly what I need to do, I'm going to do it.
Yay. I think Fred is coming to Pocono or to Triple Play too, right, Fred? Come on, Fred. You had to cancel the Poconos trip, so he's going to come to Triple Play. We're just going to put it out there.
He wanted a head count of who was doing both the R4 and CRS. I saw one of these that he wanted to know because I think he's trying to decide whether he stays in Vegas the whole time too.
I think I'm gonna book both. I already registered for R4. Like, I registered for R4 to get the super early bird that they had last year at the conference. I haven't missed an R4 since I went to my first one in 2012. I have not missed one, including Orlando year.
Orlando was my first one in 2020. I got COVID. I've only missed one since then, and that's
Yeah, life gets in the way sometimes,
yes,
when you make other plans. So I will book Celebration and know their cancellation policy. And then I'm just going to kind of play it by ear to see what I end up doing. I think I'm probably going to book flights for everything and then maybe just cancel the flights leaving Vegas and flying back. And then if I want to stay in between, I will. I don't know. Friday, it might be a game time decision what I end up doing depending on how much business I have. So... but Renee's got an advantage because he's California.
He's right there. I know.
To do both, no time difference. He doesn't have to lose a full day of travel and then worry about his bags getting lost in the transfer because it's not a direct flight.
That's all true.
Fred, no worries. Renee, so no excuses. You should just come to both. We're just going to make everyone do everything. Megan, which one are you coming to, if any? Both? Please come to both. Yeah.
Well, fabulous.
I'm glad I got to be on your call for your
call. Thank you for being on here. And Vicky Reyes is coming next week. She's not on here. I don't see her little face on here. She's going to be on next week. I'm super excited to talk with her. And it's really not going to be anything about real estate. It is going to be all the things. Well, it is, I guess, indirectly about life and complications in life, and not how real estate is all perfect and glamorous all the time. It's stressful and it's hard, and people don't talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly always. So we're kind of going to do the good, the bad, the ugly. So it'll be fun.
There used to be a speaker, Valerie Garcia, that did a good, the bad, and the ugly recap every year of all the crazy internet stories. And that was always a highlight when she did it before COVID. And then things kind of probably got too crazy, and maybe that's why she hasn't done it in a few years, or maybe I just missed it. I'm not sure. But that was always a good one. So yeah, I like the good, the bad, and the ugly. I will join.
Yeah, maybe we could do that. Do some more at the end of the year. Get a bunch of agents on here. That would be funny.
Yeah, like the craziest stories we had for the year.
We could all write a book. We all have them. I mean, people are just weird in general. So
yeah.
And Megan says she's R4 triple play and no celebration.
Okay. So, okay, I'm so glad. So I think you have like a fall season, right? So this is like the debut of your fall season of back to school just started in your area, right?
It starts the 27th.
Your fall season.
25th. Starts the 25th. Or 27th,
okay.
Whatever that Monday is, yes. So our school starts later because we're such a tourist area that we make most of our money in the summer. So they let our school start a little bit later so that we could.
So you can have
yes.
people available to work for the school year, work the tourism industry. That makes sense.
Exactly.
You know, I was just thinking like you had a couple breaks off for your season for like your travel and everything like that. So this is like your fall season of getting back into.
That's right. Get back. And then Eric's talking about, so I was showing Eric houses, and y'all might have already heard this story. I had on a dress and I had on my cute little shoes, and this was a beautiful home, and the yard was very well landscaped. I mean, landscaped to precision with this 2-inch, this like between the sidewalk and the driveway, there was like this 2-inch, what do you call them when they edge it, like a 2-inch edge between that and this just thick, beautiful, luscious sod. And as most agents know, I'm walking around with 500 things like my books, my showing books, my phone, and I'm kind of glancing on the front porch to see where the lockbox is. And I'm talking to Eric and his beautiful wife Ashley, and I'm looking and I'm talking, and I ate it. And I didn't eat it a little bit. I hit that curb on that perfectly landscaped lawn, twisted my ankle, and I did like a Superman through the air, landed on my, I was mortified. And the saddest part is I didn't even get a bruise. When I tell you I fell face first, and Eric jumped over to help me and then fell over laughing the entire time for like an hour solid, because I was pretty sure that he saw more of my private personal parts than he should have.
And it wasn't at a conference. At least his wife was there.
His conference was there. I mean, his wife was there, thank God. And she kept saying, he's teasing you, because Eric kept teasing me, and I'm just praying it was a joke because I was mortified. My face was purple, and he kept saying, are you hurt? And I was checking my body. I mean, I was hoping to be like bloody or a bruise. Nothing. No, nothing. Not even a scratch. And it was not a graceful fall. Yeah, it was really beautiful.
Well, like, we talk about doing things at the conference. I did a complete wipeout on the snow in Las Vegas. Now, if I'm going to slip in snow and ice, it should be in New York. But I did it on a hike, and it was the end of the hike. It was like the last possible section. When I finally composed myself enough to start walking again, I thought for sure I was going to end up being one of those people driving the scooters around Vegas. I'm like, well, great. That's a really great way to win some referrals, is be sitting in a scooter, because people are going to
be memorable.
I'm going to be memorable, but I'm like, I'm not giving someone a referral that So, but yeah, luckily I was sore and I was shook up, but I did not have to ride a scooter. I made it home. Barely. But yeah, Eric is a jokester without a doubt. But that's about networking. So the first time I met Eric was actually the year before on the hike in person. And we interacted a couple different times during the conference, and I came home, and within a week he's calling me saying, hey, I never got your blink. He's messaging or texting me. And so we're texting. I totally thought he was a jokester, but he had a connection for me for a referral from an agent in his office. Kathy in his office needed a referral in my market. He connected me. They were moving to Nashville. He connected him to a Nashville agent, and everyone got a nice deal. Poor Eric did not get paid, but he's got great stories, and now we all love Eric because
you know what, Eric, I don't remember the first time. I mean, Eric has sent me 2 referrals, and he did get paid on my referrals. Thank you, Eric. But I don't remember the first time I met him. I'm wanting to think it was at Celebration, but what I remember, I don't remember the first time, but what I do remember is at Celebration, and I guess this was 2 years ago, Grayson and I went together, and there was an older man that is an agent, and he is one of the teachers at CRS, but
Mm.
he was very inappropriate.
Made you uncomfortable.
It made Grayson astronomically uncomfortable, and Eric swooped in like a dad, and he literally was like, "What?" He was very good at reading a room, and he could pick up on her signs, and was like, "What is happening right now?" And when she told him, he was like, "I've got you." And it did not matter anywhere we were in the conference, outside of the conference, wherever we would be talking to different people. If that man got near Grayson, Eric, next thing I knew, Eric was showing up being right at our side. So he is such a good person. And he has taken her under his wing in real estate and working with her on setting goals. And it is very, very nice because as many people across the world that ask me for help, that I love to help in real estate, my own children think I'm stupid. So everybody else thinks I have good ideas. My kids think I am the dumbest person alive. So they don't listen to me, but that's nice when you have somebody good like Eric or Colleen that step in and like, hey, let me help your child. And that's amazing. And I love that. I think that's a wonderful quality. So
that's what this group is all about, building those relationships
exactly
with each other. And it may not be the direct referral. It may be the indirect referral. It may be just watching out for you at the conference, you know, and, you know, just having those relationships. I walked into a room at R4 this year, and, you know, after a couple minutes, someone we knew leaned over and was like, "Are you okay? That guy, I think, is following you." It was not a guy that was following me. It was the guy that it was French Canadian Eric, but he didn't know that other person because they kind of run in a little bit different groups. And I'm like, "He's waiting for you." I'm like, "Is that okay?" And I'm like, "Oh, Eric? Yeah. Eric and Frederick? Yeah, they're super chill. They're super cool. Like, no, we're friends, you know," but like people are always watching the room, and it's kind of nice to know that because
that's very nice.
There are people watching.
Yes. So I do have to go because Mark's daughter that has been in Italy for 2 years just flew home yesterday, and we're supposed to go out to eat dinner with her at 6. And as of right now, I'm going to be 10 minutes late.
We can always chat. Okay. Bye. Great to see everyone.
I love you. Thank you, Colleen. And I can't wait. Y'all check in next week with Vicky because it'll be funny.
Cool. Okay.
Bye, guys.